Welcome to Sobriety's Easy, when we embrace life by caring for ourselves. I'm your host, Julie Steiner. I've experienced 40 years of ups and downs in sobriety that have taught me ways to embrace life at every stage with what I had available at the moment. The keys to embracing life in this episode are abolishing shoulds and caring for yourself. A few months before my first pregnancy, before I quit drinking, I had some time because we had taken the geographic cure for my husband's job, so I was between jobs. Each day I spent time in the hospital cafeteria reading self-help books, in an attempt to make some sense of our lives and perhaps to improve them. That's when I discovered the futility and shame that accompanied regrets and shoulds. I started a foundation of self-worth that enabled me to surrender a few years later and put alcohol aside. Living a life free of shoulds allowed me to critically evaluate expectations others have, as well as those I have of myself. It adds a new level of freedom to my emotions and my mind. It does not mean I live in chaos. Let me explain. According to the Oxford Dictionary, the verb should, number 1, is used to indicate obligation, duty, or correctness, typically when criticizing someone's actions. He should have been careful. Number 2, used to indicate what is probable. $348 million should be enough to buy him out. Think of the times that you told yourself should in the past few days, or for some of you, in the past few hours. People can should on themselves automatically, thinking that it's helpful for keeping themselves in line. I remember one parent who thought children required hearing should, so they grow up doing the right thing. What does should mean? In each of the ways you used it today, what did you mean? Perhaps you have people shoulding on you. What do they mean? Perhaps you should on others. What do you mean when you tell someone they should? I call it a useless word because it has too many meanings that are laden with negative emotions. The receiver of the should feels their shoulders droop and their stomach churn because they did or said something that was wrong, or there's a requirement of them of something that's upcoming. It removes the joy of an activity and replaces it with obligation and necessity. You now have another item on your to-do list. I should have paid that bill days ago. Alex should go study for his test. I should call Aunt Alice today. I should paint my nails with the sparkles I bought last week. The extra credit that I created for my students was to list 10 shoulds that they told themselves this week, or they told someone else, or someone told them. If no one in your life uses should, then you can use shoulds that you hear between other people. Rewrite the sentence with what the person meant without using the word should. For example, someone says, "You should go to the store and buy some eggs for this recipe." Your restatement cannot be, "Will you go to the store and buy some eggs for this recipe?" Because they were not asking if you would. They were telling you it was necessary for you to go, or it's important, or it's desirable, or it's crucial to the recipe. Then the students were to restate the should to the person who stated it. So here's some replacements. I should have paid that bill days ago. Instead, it was critical that I pay that bill days ago. Or, Dad expected me to pay that bill days ago. Another, Alex should go study for his test. You're right. It's important for Alex to go study for his test. I should call Aunt Alice today. Instead, it would be kind to call Aunt Alice today. Or, Aunt Alice might appreciate a call today. Another, I should paint my nails with the sparkles I bought last week. Instead, it would be fun to paint my nails with the sparkles I bought last week. After 14 years of sobriety, 14 years of no shoulds, I met my second husband who was raised with shoulds. So he used the word frequently. The phrase in recovery that taught me not to correct him is people, places, and things, because we have no control over them. Every time he used the word should, I restated what I believed he meant. It went like this: Alex should take out the garbage. I then said, "You're right. It would be helpful for Alex to take out the garbage." "You should have mailed that payment 2 days ago." I then said, "You're right. It was crucial for me to mail that payment. I'll go online and see if I can take care of it quickly." When the bank teller or cashier or anyone around me uses should when talking to me, I offer the same restatement that I would to my husband. When that negativity created by shoulds is removed from your life, your thought life is more positive and your confidence increases. Because no one is putting thoughts of missing the mark in your head. You feel like you are in control because you are. Omitting shoulds from your life is a useful boundary that benefits everyone around you. It lessens the desire to drink because your mood is more positive, so there's no need to mask it. My husband stopped using the word should after several months of my responding to him as demonstrated above, without telling him that I was doing it. He even used the restatement method on one of our son's friends when they told our son that he should do something. A major part of recovery is caring for ourselves and serving others. Alcoholics and addicts are selfish during their using years. Addiction comes before the needs or wants of family, friends, work, as well as the alcoholic or addict themselves. There's a hole in their life that is no longer being hidden by substances, which needs to be filled with good things so that the temptation to relapse doesn't rear its head. Often we think the hole is filled during the first few months of recovery when we're lying in the pink cloud. Everything is new and wonderful and hopeful. We don't notice the hole. When the pink cloud passes, we need to be prepared. Love through a higher power, friendships, possibly family, caring for yourself, and serving others can fill the hole left by years of selfishness and self-loathing. You are worthwhile. You have a purpose. You are needed. You are wonderful. Repeat that after me. I am worthwhile. I have a purpose. I am needed. I am wonderful. We need to believe those words because they are true. Each of us has something to contribute. Sobriety is a time to be selfish with respect to self-care. If you've ridden in a plane, you've heard them say, put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on one of your children or anyone else. There's so much healing that needs to be done when we get sober. This healing requires us to take care of our physical bodies, our emotional selves, our spiritual selves, and our minds. Since exercise is the best way to reduce stress, improve focus and clarity, and prepare our bodies for the task at hand, then it's a major piece of the sobriety puzzle. When I first got sober, I ran early in the morning throughout the neighborhood, used soup cans as weights for bicep curls, swam in the neighborhood pool, and chased the toddlers everywhere. I also won a membership, lucky me, which I was able to utilize to a gym, which I was able to utilize when the boys were otherwise occupied or I could afford a sitter. Through the years, exercises changed and currently consists of a stationary bike, a trampoline at home, yoga, and targeted exercises. Some years I exchanged texts with family and friends who were exercising also. Other years I combined service work and exercising by running between exhibits with elementary school children at the botanical gardens, where I was giving tours. Doing squats and push-ups at the counter instead of on the floor are fabulous for waiting the 3 minutes for the water to boil and my tea to steep. When you watch a comedy, you actually get the same benefit as a half hour of exercise, according to studies, because it sends the same endorphins to your brain and you're burning calories. You can exercise while standing, sitting, or lying down, indoors or outdoors, with equipment, without equipment. Simply begin with something. There are fabulous apps and free routines on the internet or in your local library that you can try. Nutrition changes when we quit drinking. I want to briefly mention a few things. We crave the carbohydrates that we've cut out by omitting alcohol, so ice cream is a favorite among recovering people. There are clearly more nutritious ways to obtain carbohydrates, like vegetables and grains. Due to inherited health condition, vegetables are not my friends, but bread and pasta are. We are all different. Many of us suffer from anemia because alcohol suppresses the production of red blood cells in the bone marrow, which translates to needing iron-rich foods. Although I did not drink alcohol during my pregnancies, we had an anemic son when he was born, and I was highly anemic during the pregnancy. Of course, the alcohol reappeared a few months after giving birth. We're all healthy now. Since the alcohol is harmful to the brain's neural pathways and can cause mini strokes, it's important to eat brain-rich foods, meaning foods high in protein, amino acids, and omega-3 fatty acids. Most meat has complete proteins, as do eggs, dairy, soybeans, quinoa, buckwheat, hemp seed. Please investigate your nutrient needs so you can heal your body. The damage alcohol does to the body is the subject of an upcoming podcast. Sometimes we need to take supplements, since the appropriate foods aren't in our diet. In addition to the fun we have listed in previous podcasts, there are many ways to reduce stress that you may have ignored or do not know about. Alcohol appears to do the job when we're using because it quickly disguises our emotions, so it became our preferred stress reliever. Be sure to take time every day for yourself. You can take 5 minutes or an hour or 2. Experiment. Spirituality is an important source of stress relief for me, though certainly not the only one. Praying and reading spiritual material are my go-to. Dr. Daniel Amen and Dr. Earl Henslin display pictures of changes in the brain when people pray. Their names are in the comments for you. Spending time in nature heals our brain, according to Dr. Earl Henslin, who wrote This Is Your Brain on Joy, where he talks about the healing that occurs and lessening of addictive behavior. Spending a few days in nature actually improves your working memory and focused attention, in addition to reducing stress. So camping is a fabulous stress reliever for many people. The boys and I camped our way from the Midwest to the Grand Canyon one summer, and from the Midwest to the Florida Keys another. Notice I went to hot places at the hot time of year. That's okay, we loved it. Clearly, travel is another way I care for myself. Read. Even reading fiction is good for your brain. It enhances problem-solving abilities, empathy, and creativity. It provides a healthy escape. If the weather permits, read outdoors. 20 minutes of sunshine a day increases vitamin D, which prevents depression. Showing, stating, and recording gratitudes are a fabulous method of self-care. It's easy to notice things to be grateful for when we're in the pink cloud of early sobriety. We love telling everyone the wondrous daily discoveries. When the work begins and the reality of our situation faces us, then it's more difficult to be grateful. While you may not see a silver lining to every cloud, perhaps you could see a bronze lining or a tarnished one, but at least it's not lightning that's striking you anymore. I was the person people pointed to and said, "At least my situation's not as bad as hers." They truly did. I had my head bandaged from braid surgeries, just all kinds of stuff in sobriety. Being in that position caused me to draw closer to my higher power. I learned to take every negative situation and turn it into a gratitude, so I'd be able to handle whatever the situation was. This became one of my students' favorite extra credit assignments. The assignment is to list 5 gratitudes a day for 5 days with no repeats and no generalities. That meant they couldn't include statements like, I'm grateful for good air to breathe. I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful for my car. I'm grateful for school. I certainly hope we're grateful for things like living in this wonderful country and being able to earn a living and breathe clean air and have food on the table. However, it's important to look at the details of life with a new gratitude lens. I'm so grateful my daughter has such amazing lungs. Do you hear her screaming? I'm so grateful my son is so independent, he decided to go against the house rules. Every gratitude in a negative situation provides an opportunity to solve a problem or accept the situation or improve the situation because we're no longer bogged down by the negativity that is in front of us. Early in our marriage, my second marriage, I came home to a spotless kitchen, which was very upsetting. When I'd gone to work, there were piles of important papers separated by category on the kitchen peninsula. A pile for the homework, a pile for each day of my classes I was teaching, and a pile for bills. There were no papers in sight. Rather than scream at my new husband, who was upstairs, I stood with my teeth clenched and repeated gratitudes. I am so grateful that I have a husband who takes initiative. I am so grateful I have a husband who notices that something in the house needs attention. I am so grateful I have a husband who cleans. After repeating these a few times, the huge issue of the boundary crossing my husband perpetrated was reduced to a manageable frustration. I went upstairs and asked him where a specific bill was. He looked puzzled, said, I haven't seen it. I replied, it was on the counter with the other important papers. We then had a conversation about boundaries, how to minimize my piles intruding in selected spaces, and what each of us could do in the future. Gratitudes allowed me to gain control over my emotions so we could have a reasonable conversation. Try it the next time someone cuts you off, or someone doesn't listen to you, or whatever else is upsetting. Deep breathing activates the vagus nerve, which turns off anxiety. Get in a relaxed position for you. Do it right now. Don't worry about the right or wrong position. Simply, what is your relaxed position? Breathe in for a count of 4, hold it for 1, then breathe out through pursed lips for a count of 8, 12, 20, or whatever you can do. We'll do one now. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold. Out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Breathe. Repeat that 5 to 7 times. I use this breathing technique everywhere. When I'm in dense traffic, someone's misrepresenting me, I don't have what I need for a meeting, when I'm in pain, I stop and breathe. I may remove myself from a public place to do so. Each day, consider what filled your bucket that day, and think of ways you can incorporate that into more of your days so that you can continue to care for yourself. Sleep is another important aspect of taking care of ourselves, and I'll briefly mention some techniques that are helpful for improving sleep. It's important that you know how much you need before you worry about how much sleep you're getting. In our house, there are numerous schedules because my husband requires 10 or more hours of sleep, while I only require 4 to 8 hours of sleep. Yes, that's not much sleep for most people, but my ADD condition has a symptom that says I don't need as much sleep. When I stopped worrying about how much sleep I was getting, I was able to get sleep I need. Here's some specific ideas. Wearing a sleep mask. It so relaxes your whole face and tends to result in a very deep sleep. I love it. Pray. I already said it's my go-to. Repeat several times. I am enjoying a relaxing sleep. I am enjoying a delightful sleep. Like maybe 10 or 15 times. Say that. Read or listen to music. Now, music keeps me awake. I want to sing or I want to play an instrument. But for my husband, it's great and puts him to sleep. So whatever works for you. Watch TV. Having the TV on, and new studies show why that this works. If you have a movie or a show on that you've seen frequently, it'll put you to sleep. Your reticular activation system, RAS, alerts you when there's a problem or danger. So if the movie is suddenly loud or making unsuspected noises, you wake up. So you only want to play familiar movies or shows. One friend put Disney movies on to help her child focus on the movie rather than the anxiety that was keeping her up at night. You'd be surprised. Journal. Writing about what you learned that day, what you're grateful for, or a special memory can release positive feelings that help you relax and have a pleasant sleep. Eat a banana. They are a good source of melatonin, so they're a good snack 30 minutes or more before bed. People with hypoglycemia, like me, or who take medicine at night that requires food intake for their stomach, benefit by having something in their stomach when they go to bed. Please note, you may not remember your dreams in early recovery. Our brain, like our body, protects us. So sometimes it keeps dreams from our memory. I thought I didn't dream for the first 6 months of sobriety. Actually, without dreaming, I would have been dead. My brain was allowing me to escape from all the negativity by keeping my dreams a mystery. Another podcast comes to an end with my desire to help you identify ways to improve your self-care. When you consistently put everyone else and everything else before your own needs, you're in essence telling yourself on a continuous basis that you are less important than others. Remember, you are worthwhile, you have a purpose, you are needed, you are wonderful. Today's keys for embracing life are ridding our lives of shoulds and increasing self-care through spirituality, exercise, nutrition, good sleep, spending time in nature, and reading. I hope these pieces of the sobriety path will make it easier for you. For those of you who aren't alcoholics or addicts, I hope you took away a nugget. I look forward to sharing additional tools next week. Please join me on this miraculous path.